There are two kinds of people in this world. The people who fail to do what they know they should, and those who keep doing things they know they shouldn't. Guess what? You're both. Hi, I'm your host, life and business coach, Marcy Barker, aka your loving kick in the pants. In this podcast, I'll teach you the 6 steps of my accountability code that will help you wake up with clarity and show up with aligned action steps that make follow through easy and peaceful. All right, let's jump in.
Good morning, my beautiful people. I'm excited to share with you something I have shared with only my clients so far who are in my 8-week accountability program. And I thought this was really, really cool because this is the 5th time I've run this program, but I came across this idea and I was like, this is genius. And in the very first week of the program, it's already helped people improve their ability to be accountable. So what is this magic thing? It's kind of funny, you guys. It's like sometimes they're so groundbreaking, but at the same time, it's so simple. It is so simple. So I'm just going to break the news to you right now. What is this thing that is helping my clients improve immediately? It's an assessment. Now, one time, it was a couple months ago, I went to a retreat and one of the main people at the retreat was a therapist. And you guys, I love therapy. I've been attending therapy for over a year now, and I'm just a big fan. So I was really excited to get to hang out with a therapist all weekend at this retreat. And part of what we did at the retreat was a lot of assessments. And it was very eye-opening to just see where you're at. And I guess part of me too really likes assessments because I like talking about myself. I like focusing on myself. And at the end of the day, don't lie, you do too. Everybody only does things because in some way, shape, or form, it will benefit them. So having an assessment or a way to do self-inventory has been amazing for me, but I'm really excited to share with you how it's helped my clients already in the first week of this program. So I'm going to share this with you guys. So if this is your jam, an assessment, pause this, grab a paper and a pencil, and you're going to go through this little accountability assessment with me. Okay. So with this assessment, I have given this to my clients to take at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. And we decided as a group that we were going to look at this assessment every single week to see how we're measuring up from where we used to be to where we are now at this moment in time. And one thing that's really cool about seeing where you're at is that it brings back into the present your awareness. And when you are aware of what you're doing and what you want to do, that is automatically a way for your brain to fill in the gaps of how can we do this thing? So, okay, you have your paper and pencil. Listen, here's what we're going to do. I am going to read a list of 42 statements. Now, why 42? Well, we're going to answer 7 questions for each step of the accountability code. So we're going to have reflection, humility, planning. Then we're going to do the show up part, which is implementing, commitment, and feedback. Okay. So are you ready? All you're going to do is I'm going to read this sentence, and if it applies to you, if you feel like, yes, I have that one down, you're going to give yourself a tally mark. Okay. And then at the end of this section where I read all the questions, you're just going to add up your score and see how it goes. Okay. The cool thing about this, and I'm sharing this in podcast form because, yes, I have only shared it with my clients, but I'm the boss of my business. I can do whatever I want. Okay, so I want to share it with you guys. I also want to let you know, wherever you're listening to podcasts, bookmark this one because you can come back to this assessment every single time that you want to check in with yourself, and you can just go through this assessment and see if your score is higher than it used to be, okay? And then if you're like, Marcy, I really just want to do this with you, well, reach out to me and hopefully you can get into my next program in the fall. Okay, so this is our pre-assessment. Again, it's in 2 sections, wake up and show up. And we're just going to I'm going to read all of the questions. And if they apply to you, you're just going to give yourself a check mark. So also, wherever you're listening to podcasts, if you feel like you got to slow it down in order for you to answer the questions clearly, then you can do that too. Or, just have your finger right over the pause button if you need a second to think about these questions. At the end of the day, give yourself grace. This assessment in no way, shape, or form is supposed to make you feel bad about yourself or send you on a guilt trip, okay? The very first time I took my own assessment, when I put this together, I was kind of disappointed with my score. I was like, I'm freaking the expert here on accountability. And not that I expected myself to have 100%, but I was a little bit surprised. But I'm gonna keep, we'll go through this and then I'll share a little bit more. Okay, so are you ready? First off, take a deep breath. Okay. Give yourself grace. Here we go. Oh, also give yourself a pat on the back, like you're about to take an assessment. Some people are just going to listen to this and not do anything. And like, not calling you out if that's you, but if that's you, I'm kind of calling you out. Get a paper or get a pencil. You're listening to this for a reason. You want to be held accountable. Okay, here we go. I have clearly defined my goals for the next 8 weeks. I understand why these goals are important to me and how they align with my core values. I have identified potential internal and external obstacles that could impede my progress. I feel prepared to address or adapt to these obstacles as I work toward my goals. I have established a consistent method for reflection, like journaling, meditation, discussions, etc. My reflective practice provides me with ongoing insights into my progress and challenges. I feel a sense of peace and motivation when I think about my goals. I regularly assess my strengths and weaknesses honestly. I acknowledge my limitations without self-judgment. I actively seek out feedback from others. I view feedback as an opportunity for growth, not criticism. I engage in learning opportunities beyond my comfort zone. I listen to and value others' opinions and contributions. I recognize the achievements of others and express gratitude. I have a clear, detailed plan that outlines the steps to achieve my goal. My plan includes specific timelines and milestones. I have identified all necessary resources, like time, money, skills, for my plan. Resources are appropriately allocated to each task. I have considered potential obstacles and have contingency plans in place. Every part of my plan aligns with my overall goal and values. I am committed to the objectives set out in my plan. All right, take a break for a second. That's the first half. So just take a note of your score right now. This is your score when it comes to waking up. So when it comes to reflection, humility, and planning, that's your score. Okay, so just note that for a second.
Hey listeners, the message of waking up and showing up is yours for the taking. In fact, it's free. I've recorded my entire audiobook and I'd love for you to consume it between episodes. Head to marcybarker.com to get instant access to the accountability code Wake Up and Show Up. All right, let's jump back in.
I'm going to keep reading and I will read up the show up questions related to implementing, commitment, and feedback. All right. I have consistently taken action towards my goals according to my plan. My actions have resulted in tangible progress towards achieving my objectives. I have demonstrated adaptability by adjusting my plan and actions based on feedback and results. I am willing to continue adapting my approach as needed to overcome future challenges. I have faced and overcome obstacles during the implementation phase. I have learned from these challenges and used these lessons to improve my strategy. I regularly evaluate my progress using specific metrics or milestones. I have consistently applied effort towards my goals even in the face of challenges. My commitment has not wavered, showing through continuous action and perseverance. I am willing and ready to adapt my strategies based on what has been effective or ineffective. Changes and adjustments have been made when necessary to stay aligned with my goals. I actively seek learning opportunities to enhance my journey towards my goal. Learning from both successes and setbacks has been a priority. I am open to receiving feedback regardless of its nature. I understand that feedback is valuable for my growth and development. I proactively seek feedback from various sources to gain diverse perspectives. I ask specific questions to solicit actionable feedback. I listen to feedback without becoming defensive. I can separate my emotions from the feedback to assess it objectively. I analyze the feedback received to identify patterns and key areas for improvement. I recognize the difference between useful feedback and comments that may not be relevant to my goals. Okay. All right. Add up your scores, and that is your show up score in that second half. So what you're going to do is just add up the score and know that it is out of 42. Now, if you're in my 8-week program, you have been given additional resources to help you evaluate and track your accountability score. But if you're just listening to this podcast and you did the assessment, I want you to know this is a very important starting piece for you in your goals. Now, at the beginning of this podcast, I was going to tell you how this has helped me and some of my clients already. And what I thought was really cool is I was in the group call. We have a group call every single week to check in with each other and for me to offer your loving kick in the pants, however is applicable at the time. And we were recording our scores in the tracking system. And me and other clients that I have were like, the score that I took 2 days ago is different than already how I've improved now. And, part of us wanted to like change the beginning score of like, no, I promise I'm starting better. But what's really cool about becoming aware is that just by revisiting your awareness, you're going to naturally take action. And I think a lot of people forget that. They set a goal and the goal is not aligned enough for it to be top of mind often enough. And so this pre and post assessment, like this is a tool to you, but I want you to know like it's going to be useless if you don't actually do anything with it. Just like everything else in life, all of the other resources that are out there at your fingertips, they're going to be useless if you don't do anything with it. So I want you to use this assessment to your advantage. Give yourself grace, but understand like you have so much freaking power. You have so much available to you. And whether you scored lower or higher in the wake up or show up, like that is data right there. You're like, am I really good at thinking about crap, but I don't do anything? Or am I actually a hustler, but I am not really getting the results that I want because I didn't really think about why I was doing something. I just believed that it would work for some reason. So that right there, look at your scores and identify if you are better at waking up or if you're better at showing up and adjust there. And you always have the power to start today. So I want you to follow along. Like I just started my 8-week program and yes, there's some amazing things happening in there, but you guys also, you just paying attention, you prepping and priming yourself for your next big thing is so important. I talk to a lot of people who are interested in the program, and part of the discovery call or the free calls that I do with the accountability code, sometimes the code reveals that it's not the time to invest in coaching. And other times you're like, man, why did I take so long? Yes, it's time. Yes, it's definitely time. So no matter how you're feeling, I want you to take your results into your own hands. Take 100% responsibility for what you want in your life. And don't just listen to the things, but do them. Okay. And if you need help with that, I'm here. You can always book a call with me. We can always talk about the next best steps for you. So with that, I'm going to leave you and I will see you next week for your loving kick in the pants.
Hey friends, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. If you got any value out of this episode, I would love for you to drop me a review or share with a friend what you learned. All right, I'll see you next Wednesday for Your Loving Kick in the Pants.